We've got fantastic opportunities to use new technologies to secure the American people and at the same time be better stewards of the environment.
You have questions, we have answers.
Listen carefully.
You can't really be against hydrofracking and say you're an environmentalist because immediately the default options are fuels that are much less clean.
For the next hour, Shawn Wilson explores the energy industry with news and interviews from around the corner and around the globe.
Nuclear is one of the directions that we should innovate in.
The Exploring Energy Show begins now.
Very, very good. Gentlemen, it is finally Friday. So stoked about another week coming to an end. Here's what's on the menu at Grandma's house. The Elk City Meals on Wheels Kitchen. It's Grandma's house now. That's right, 1510 West 9th Street. Call in an order, 225-5821. You can also ask them how you can help financially support this wonderful program, Meals on Wheels, at Grandma's house. Open from 11 to 1, Monday through Friday. Here it is today. It is chicken tenders, mashed potatoes and gravy, corn, biscuit, and dessert. That's what's on this Friday the 13th. Chicken tenders, mashed potatoes and gravy, corn, biscuit, and dessert. It's also Donut Friday here at the station. Thanks to Amy Donuts right there on North Van Buren, just around the corner from the brand new Elk City Police Department on Van Buren Avenue. Business hours Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 4:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. 4:30 a.m., 2 p.m. It's Donut Friday here. Thanks to Amy Donuts. Delicious donuts, and their smoothies are great. They've got those kolaches. I highly recommend it. It is Amy Donuts. Stop by their convenient drive-thru on your way to work. 301 North Van Buren, Amy Donuts. Thank you for your collaboration with us at Exploring Energy and the radio station in general. Carnegie Caravan, they'll throw some books right in it. They'll throw some books right in the Carnegie Caravan, bring them right to you in the Elk City area. Free books delivered to you by the Friends of the Library. You can call them and ask them about if you're having trouble reading regular print, they got a free program that can help with that also. For that services, call 225-0136. 225-0136. That's the Friends of the Carnegie Library. Okay. A lot to unpack this morning. We'll get right at it here. Energy stock prices down just a skosh, but still up there. West Texas Intermediate's down $2.25, but still trading north of $90 at $93.48 a barrel on the March contract out of New York Mercantile Exchange. Brent crude oil, the ICE Futures Exchange, has the global benchmark down $1.53, trading at $98.93 a barrel on an April contract. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas also down just a skosh, down 7 cents to $3.16 per million BTU. RBOB gasoline, Tocom crude oil out of Tokyo, the only green, it's up 10,980 yen per kiloliter. Also, the refined products down just a little bit. RBOB gasoline down $3.82 to $292.64. Heating oil is down $7.84 to $382.05. And gas oil down $24.50, but still trading $1,103.25 per metric ton. So, of course, the U.S. eases Russian oil sanctions to tame price surge. And that is riling some of the European markets. The United States issued a 30-day waiver for countries to buy sanctioned Russian oil petroleum products stranded at sea, drawing criticism from Germany and other European allies on Friday, but approval from Moscow, of course. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the waiver was a bid to stabilize global energy markets roiled by the Iranian war, but it risks complicating Western efforts to deprive Russia of revenue for the war in Ukraine. Kind of a conundrum, if you will. Oil prices eased on Friday morning, this morning in Asia, after the U.S. waiver announcement, which, according to Russia's presidential envoy Kirill Dmitriev, would affect 100 million barrels of Russian crude, equal to almost a day's worth of global output. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said that any move to ease Russia's sanctions was wrong, while his economy minister, Katrina Reich, said the decision was probably driven by U.S. domestic pressure. 6 members of the G7 expressed a very clear opinion that this was not the right signal to send. We then learned this morning that the American government has apparently decided otherwise, Merz told a press conference in Norway. Again, we believe this is wrong. There is currently a price problem, but not a quantity problem. And therefore, I would like to know what other motives led the American government to make this decision, he said. I mean, I guess these are world leaders, and I shouldn't question them, but come on, man. It's the amount of oil that is setting on tankers in the Straits of Hormuz that is making the price of oil go up. So releasing the sanctions on those Russian tankers that do not have to come through the Straits of Hormuz makes sense. Of course, I guess when you're getting up there and you're trying to please the left-leaning people in your country and in the world, you say stupid things. Pardon me, I had to get a little drink of coffee there. Okay. So Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre also said the energy sanctions on Russia should not be eased, echoing comments earlier this week from French President Emmanuel "I'm a weirdo" Macron and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Anyway, the Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters this morning that the U.S. move was aimed at stabilizing world energy markets. In this respect, our interests coincide, Peskov said. The situation is fragile with the risk of a growing crisis in the global energy sector. Without significant volumes of Russian oil, market stabilization is impossible, he added. According to data analytics from Vortexa, around 7.3 million barrels of Russian-originated oil have been in floating storage, while 148.6 million barrels have been in vessels in transit. So they've got over 150 million barrels of oil. We'll wait and see how this works out. But I know that Trump and his administration wouldn't just willy-nilly this thing. They're going to release from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve if they put ease the sanction on this Russian oil and brings it into the market. And exactly that is what made the energy commodity prices go down, a couple dollars or a little over a couple dollars per barrel. There's still a whole lot of geopolitical pressures on oil and gas. We'll talk more about that as the show progresses. Let's see, it looks like Corporation Commissioner Kim David announces run for Congress. She's eyeing a little bigger seat. Not surprising. Oklahoma Corporation Commissioner Kim David didn't waste any time after Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern announced he's a candidate for U.S. Senate, opening up his representative seat. David, a Republican, wants to replace Hern as the state's first congressional representative and made the announcement yesterday afternoon. Others talk conservative, said David. I've spent my career delivering results. In Congress, I will stand with President Trump to secure the border and protect American energy, defend our freedoms, and lower the cost of living for Oklahoma families, she said. David is a Republican who previously served as the Oklahoma Senate Majority Leader, the first woman to be named to that position since Oklahoma became a state. In her campaign announcement on social media, David said she has defended Oklahoma values throughout her political career. David has been an Oklahoma Corporation Commissioner since January of 2023 and is the commission's chair. She previously was in the Oklahoma State Senate, where she was the first woman to be named again Majority Leader. Serving from 2010 to 2022, she also chaired the Senate Appropriations Committee. So she's got the chops for this job. And since there's a shakeup with Mark Wayne Mullen and then Hern running for that Senate seat, I'm still waiting to hear confirmation on if they're going to appoint, if Kevin Stitt is going to appoint Harold Hamm to fill that vacant seat. I know he was having a meeting with Trump earlier in the week. I'm kind of curious to see how that all shakes out. Well, we're at our quarter after the hour. I'm going to take a break, pay a couple bills here from some of our great sponsors, and be back with more. In fact, this next story I'm going to talk about is, well, USA oil and gas hiring remains disciplined. We'll talk about that right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
This Saturday only, take 17% off your regular price purchase at Sutherland's. That's right, 17% off everything in stock. Refresh your home or take on spring projects with 17% off. Don't miss this one-day only sale. This Saturday, March 14th only, take 17% off your regular price purchase. Exclusions and quantity limits apply. See store for details. Located at Red Wheat Drive and I-40 in Clinton, only at Sutherland's.
Clear your calendar, Oklahoma. This one's gonna hit hard. Stoney LaRue is back again and bringing his signature red dirt sound to Sugar Creek Casino on Saturday, March 28th. Doors open, guitars crank up, and the show kicks off at 7 p.m. If you love live music, cold drinks, and a packed house singing every word, this is your night. Get your tickets online now at sugarcreekcasino.com and score more perks with sweeter rewards. That's Sugar Creek Casino off I-40 exit 101.
They don't want to hire you because your paper might say Oklahoma School for the Blind.
I was just completely homebound because I was always too afraid to go outside. I want to be a productive member of society, and that's what DRS has given me.
They offer you opportunities to getting a job, helping you learn how to advocate for yourself, find the best way to try living your life in the fullest way possible.
Oklahoma and DRS has been the biggest blessing in my life.
See me.
Not my disability.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Hi folks, this is EJ Gredeman with ASCO Equipment out of Elk City, Oklahoma. If you need rental equipment, I got your back. From excavators to wheel loaders, telehandlers, and forklifts, we rent the brands that you know and trust. With flexible terms, responsible service, and expert support, we're here to keep your job on track. Need equipment? We're on it here at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com or stop by our Elk City branch, 513 West 20th here in Elk City, Oklahoma, or you can just give me a call, 580-243-9233. Appreciate it, folks, and y'all have a blessed day.
A guy in Altas buys an RV from a fellow in El Reno. The transaction came about through the penny news. The power of the penny news is a force of nature.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
The Exploring Energy Radio Show. Thanks again for tuning in. This show brought to you in part by Champion X, our very own Will Bowie. He can help you. Champion X is a division of Schlumberger, improving lives, making it easier, more affordable, saves you time and money. There is a great combination. It's a win-win. From artificial lift to artificial intelligence, chemical technology, chemical injection products, drilling technologies, industry innovations, emission technologies. So many trained personnel with this company. You start with Will, and if it needs to go up from there, it will, but I'm telling you straight up, you can get a hold of Will at 405-650-8521. 405-650-8521, championx.com. Will continues to help solve his customers' plunger lift and automation issues. This gets them maximum return using the most environmentally safe procedures. Here's that number again for Will Bowie, your Champion X contact. 405-650-8521. Champion X is improving lives. Fred's Steakhouse, home of the $4.99 chicken fried steak. Also home to fresh USDA graded beef ribeyes, New York strips, filet mignon, sirloins, hand cut daily by their very own in-house butcher. I like the pork chops. Of course, I dig pig. Fred's also is your destination for family-friendly dining. They have appetizers, second to none. 7 kinds of chicken. Numerous side options available. Fresh salad, soup of the day. Those hot, fresh baked rolls. Get some of that cinnamon sugar butter on there. Ooh, good stuff. Maybe seafood, maybe freshwater catfish. That's what you crave. They got some of that too. Burgers and sandwiches. Grilled chicken or the hearty chicken fried steak sandwich. A little extra mayo, some onions, some cheese on that, baby. Come on. Try the Fred's Burger or the Mushroom Burger. Top off your dining experience with fresh in-house made desserts. I like the bread pudding. Apple cobbler. It's all good. Fred's also have a full-service bar with your favorite beer, wine, and specialty drinks. Fred's Steakhouse can host your private event located at 2107 South Main Street in Elk City. You can dine in, take out, or order online at the Shawn Now app. Open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can call them at 243-2100. That number again, 243-2100. Came across this yesterday evening. I thought it was very interesting. I'm going to share it with you this morning. USA oil and gas drilling remains disciplined is the headline here. Story goes on to say U.S. oil and gas hiring remains disciplined, not aggressive. Brian Brinke, the president and CEO of Michigan-based the Birmingham Group, an affiliate of Sanford Rose Associates, told RigZone recently, upstream is still selective, with most activity tied to optimization, maintenance, and targeted build-outs rather than expansions. Companies are prioritizing margin protection over headcount growth, he added. Rig counts and pricing volatility continue to influence decision-making, according to Binky. Binky. I'm just going to call him Bink. Maybe the E is silent, but I can't go along calling him Binky. When operators feel confident about sustained pricing and project visibility, hiring picks up quickly. Until then, most firms are adding talent only where it directly supports production efficiency or reduces operational cost. He went on to say, the biggest pressure point continues to be experienced technical professionals. So listen to this. The workforce is aging. Pipeline of younger engineers entering oil and gas is still thinner than it was 10 years ago. That creates pockets of tightness, even in a slower hiring cycle, he added. Bink went on to tell RigZone that if commodity stability improves, he expects modest momentum in the second half of this year, particularly in engineering operations and field leadership roles. I would not characterize it as a hiring boom, but I do see potential for steady improvement if confidence builds, Bink said. In this latest State of the Energy report, which was released last week, the Texas Independent Producers and Royalty Owners Association, TIPRO, stated that the U.S. oil and gas industry employs 2,043,859 professionals in 2025, which is added represented a net decline of 8,368 direct jobs compared to the 2024 number. When incorporating direct, indirect, and induced multipliers for employment to the national level, the industry supported 19,282,999 million jobs last year, he said. There were 373,478 direct U.S. upstream sector jobs in 2025. Over 250,000 people. 373,478 direct U.S. upstream sector jobs. A net decline of 9,212 jobs compared to 2024. The largest sector by employment in the U.S. oil and gas industry is Gasoline stations with convenience stores with 887,198 workers in 2025, according to the report. This was followed by support activities for oil and gas operations, with 214,994 jobs, oil and gas pipeline and related structures construction with about 145,000 jobs, in the natural gas distribution with about 261,000 jobs, the report showed. The largest increase in jobs in 2025 occurred in gasoline stations with convenience stores, and that net increase of 3,648 compared to 2024 numbers. Pipeline transportation, they were down 1,612. The related construction, 1,640 jobs down, and the natural gas distribution, 703, the report revealed. So, I'm sorry, those were increases in those sectors. 13 of the 19 sectors showed a net decline in jobs in 2025. It said, according to TIPRO's report, the oil and gas industry paid a national average wage of $84,574 in 2025. Workers in crude oil extraction, the guys out on the rig, earned the highest annual average wage of an oil and gas industry with $234,743 average, followed by natural gas extraction, $189,378, and petroleum refineries, about $172,162 average wage per year in those industries. Payroll in the U.S. oil and gas industry totaled $173 billion last year, according to this report, which stated that it was an increase of $1.4 billion compared to 2024. The number of U.S. oil and gas business total, 164,383, subject to revisions, the report highlighted. But TIPRO's report pointed out that 23% of all U.S. oil and gas jobs were located in Texas in 2025, adding that direct and indirect oil and gas jobs totaled 2,509,121 of those jobs were in Texas. Also in that TIPRO statement sent to Rig Zone last week, TIPRO President Ed Longnecker said, despite facing a number of unique challenges, the U.S. oil and gas industry continues to offer significant economic support while providing reliable and affordable energy to meet growing domestic and global demand. TIPRO will continue to advocate for policies at all levels of government to strengthen the U.S. oil and natural gas industry, ensuring Texas remains the nation's leading producer while supporting jobs, economic growth, energy security, and yada, yada, yada. But I just found those numbers very interesting, that they're not calling it a boom. They're calling it basically steady. Disciplined is the word they use. But it didn't surprise me that 23% of those jobs were in Texas. I mean, they got most of the drilling rigs, most of the activities going on down there in the Permian, well, Texas and New Mexico. But I just thought it was good news to hear that, you know, if you're looking at a job in the, or your kid or your grandkids looking at a job in the petroleum engineering sector, you got a really, or she's got a really good chance of getting hired on, because a lot of those people in the industry that are holding those positions are rotating out, which happens to some of us old farts every now and again. So it's interesting to see. Now, we'll tell you this, that firefighters are still on alert in western Oklahoma. Another fire day, up to 31-mile-per-hour gusts. We need to be very cognizant of what you're doing out there and just be smart. Common sense, there's two words that I love to use, that I love to see in place. Sometimes you just don't get it, but it doesn't hurt to hope and pray for common sense for folks. But, you know, I mean, even chains dragging on a paved road, you know, they produce sparks. Throwing a cigarette out the window, that's ridiculously careless, but it does happen. Welding without any wind protection, or, you know, just without a plan. Certainly not starting a fire. This is not time for a controlled burn. Might be about half the time, but trying to get it under control That's a totally different story. At the bottom of the hour, I'm going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show in a moment.
This is the Exploring Energy Show.
Can I ask you a basic, somewhat obvious question? Energy, agriculture, gas, oil, beef. Is it possible to talk about one without talking about the other?
Not standing over a gas-operated flat top, I suppose, next to a bunch of gas-operated fryers.
Gas, and more gas. I live in California.
Yeah.
Maybe you've read somebody somewhere has waged a war on gas stoves.
I've heard that. I've heard that.
Thoughts?
In a nutshell, I prefer to cook on gas stoves.
There it is. It's official.
See their stories at oerb.com/micro.
You know why people like going out to eat? It's a little treat for them. They get to leave the house and go somewhere else and have somebody else cook the food and serve it to them and clean up afterward. All you got to do is pay and leave.
I know a lady that makes it at Janice's Cafe. We go out there and eat all the time. You know why? It's not at home, and it's better than what we cook. You know, one of my favorite things to eat at Janice's Cafe? The catfish. It's good. It's got the crispy breading. Oh, it's like they made it with love, with a little bit more love on top of it.
Bacon cheeseburger.
Best bacon cheeseburger in the business. Name another one.
Mushroom and Swiss.
Best mushroom burger there is ever. Janice's Cafe can make all those burgers for you. Of course they got burgers. They got the best burgers you can have.
Do you think more people drink sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Well, you know what I am.
Half and half.
Half sweet, half unsweet. Janice is located on the south side of Elk City, where you go into the movie theater, right there next to Arby's. You'll be able to find it because there's a big old sign up there that says Janice's Cafe.
Mo savings, mo service, mo satisfaction. That's what you'll get when you purchase a new zero-turn mower from DJ's Rentals and Sales in Elk City. Mowing season is around the corner, and DJ's is offering some nice discounts on Hustler, Cub Cadet, and Spartan zero-turn mowers in stock. Check out the lineup on South Main in Elk City. Savings, service, and satisfaction. Who could ask for more? The discounts end March 31st, so you better hustle. That's DJ's Rentals and Sales, 911 South Main Street in Elk City.
So we had a gentleman that had heard our ad on the radio multiple times and had always wanted to try to do the bulk fluids with us, but just thought it would be a big hassle. And he just kept putting it off. And finally, we had a salesman go down there and talk to him. And he told us what he needed. We took him a tote of hydraulic oil, tote of motor oil, and a drum of antifreeze. Got it set up for him, and the gentleman said, "That's it, huh?" He goes, "Man, if I'd have known it was this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago." We're kind of like your easy button. We're going to get it done for you, easiest way for you. I guess they think it's difficult, moving in the tanks or totes, whatever you want, getting it set up, getting the hose reels and all that type of stuff set up, pumps. But we do it every day. So, they think it's going to take weeks. But, most times we'll be there that week when they order it, if not, within a couple of days. So they're very surprised at how fast.
Camrock is the name of the company. It's 2111 South Main, Elk City, south of Fred's Steakhouse.
He goes, "Man, if I'd have known it was this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago."
Level up your fitness at Modern Fitness. With 24-hour access, you can work out anytime you want. Modern Fitness in Elk City. Get in shape and have fun doing it at a really nice gym.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
The show brought to you in part by ASCO Equipment. Yesterday when we were in Oklahoma City, and again, congratulations to a good season for the Merritt Oilerettes. They were defeated yesterday in the first round by Latta. But still very proud of those young ladies for getting that far, and their overall career wins were just stupid good. ASCO Equipment, they've got their big one right there. I think it's at Rockwell is where it comes down there. Anyway, it's right across the corner from the Outlet Mall area. But they got that equipment just stacked deep in there. Right here in Elk City, 513 West 20th Street, we have one of 27 locations that are sprinkled throughout Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico. If you're looking for heavy equipment for sale or rent, ASCO is your source. Their new and pre-owned construction equipment fits your needs and your budget. ASCO is a leading provider for the Oklahoma construction, ag, and energy sectors, proudly serving this area, or any of their areas, with construction equipment like tractors, backhoes, wheel loaders, cranes, dozers, excavators, forklifts, compactors, pavers, man lifts, and more. When you partner with ASCO, and they want to be a partner, that's more than a saying. They will partner with you in your project to make sure you have what you need when you need it to get the job done and get it done correctly. Their flexible rental rates are also awesome. Like, sit there and just talk to EJ Gredeman. Tell him what you need. Tell him what you got. He'll understand. He'll process it, and he'll cut you a fair deal. ASCO offers flexible rental equipment options. Daily, weekly, monthly. You set those up with EJ. Again, we appreciate ASCO equipment. You can get a hold of them. 323-3422, 323-3422, or online at ascoeq.com. And we also have one of our other great sponsors, One Source Control Products, LLC. Now open in Weatherford in the old H&C Supply Building. Full range of pipe, valves, and fittings, controls, regulators, hydraulic hoses and fittings, lubricants, gloves, tapes, batteries, you name it. They now have welding supplies, plus iron and metal, like square tubing, angle iron, channel iron, expanded metal, those kind of things. And they also sell consumables such as soap and salt sticks, and their repair technicians in their pump shop can handle any of your pump repairs from methanol to glycol. Their repair techs work on all Chemray Tech's team and Western Pumps. 3 locations, Elk City, Canadian, Texas, and now in Weatherford. Find out more online, One Source OK, the numeral 1, sourceok.com. An American Hose and Supply on location. You're out on the pasture. You stop dead in your tracks because you busted a hose. Good thing you got American Hose and Supply saved in your contacts. For those who don't, it's 303-1123, 303-1123. Located inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City. Whoo, you got to love it. Fred's Steakhouse right next door. It's American Hose and Supply. They will do whatever it takes to get you up and going. They custom make hoses. They have hoses in stock, the fittings. Their crimper is second to none. Anyhow, call them 303-1123 or stop by American Hose and Supply inside the Camrock building next to Fred's Steakhouse. Go to those who know hose. Okie dokie. All righty. I'm getting back over here to this. Get back to the Iranian deal. I know we talk about it a lot on this show, but it's a very, very important part of what's going on geopolitically in our industry right now. A lot of uncertainties. But Iran warned the United States that oil prices could soar to $200 a barrel as escalating U.S. and Israeli strikes against the country continue to rattle global energy markets. To prevent what could be one of the worst oil shocks since the 1970s, the U.S. announced that Washington, along with the International Energy Agency, will soon release historic volumes of oil from its emergency reserve, the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. If oil prices reach such levels, average gas prices in the United States could surpass $5 a gallon, according to analysts. As of Wednesday of this week, the national average price for regular gasoline stood at about $3.57 per gallon, according to the American Automobile Association, the AAA. A spokesperson for Iran's military, their primary military command, issued the warning in comments addressed to Washington, Reuters reported. Tehran reportedly emphasized that the instability in global oil markets was the result of what Tehran describes as conditions imposed by the United States and Israel. Get ready for oil to be $200 a barrel because the oil price depends on regional security, which you have destabilized, Ibrahim Safkari said, spokesperson for Khatam al-Arabi Central Headquarters. The threat of $200 a barrel of oil comes after crude prices recently surged past $100, got up like 119 for the first time since 2022, peaking at nearly 120. Didn't quite make it to there, but it was close. A barrel before settling around $90 per barrel due to a brief rally. West Texas Intermediate, the crude oil produced in the United States, was trading just under $86 a barrel. It's a little over that now. In response to the IEA, and they made up of major oil-consuming nations, agreed to, release 400 million barrels from its global strategic reserves. Though experts warn this could replace only a fraction of the supply normally flowing through the Straits of Hormuz. The United States will add another 172 million barrels, again, from its own strategic petroleum reserve. 32 member nations met The International Energy Agency unanimously agreed that President Trump's request to lower energy prices with a coordinated release of 400 million barrels of oil and refined products from their respective reserves, Wright said in a statement. This is very interesting. I think that Iran is the only thing they have besides lobbing missiles indiscreetly at anybody, civilian or military, is they feel like they control the Straits of Hormuz. I can tell you right now, the Trump administration and the War Department are not going to allow them to have that control. They'll start escorting those ships, and the ships that are escorting those tankers would be able to knock those missiles, those drone attacks out of the sky before they hit the tanker. So I think Iran's trying, I mean, you see almost desperation in this, like, we're going to make oil $200 a barrel because we're shutting off all the oil through the Straits of Hormuz. Well, first of all, that only represents about 20% of the world's supply. Okay? And Trump knows this, and that's why he's sanctioned on the Russian oil. We've got the Venezuelan oil now where we didn't have before. I say have it. I mean, we have access to it, and we are in trade with the new Venezuelan government, which we weren't before with Maduro. So Trump plays a really good game of chess. Every move that he has, he anticipates a counter move, and then he will counter that counter move. That's how people like Trump work. And it's hard for the left to understand because he goes about it, first of all, with the American first mentality. Second of all, common sense. Thirdly, he looks at the big picture. Okay, what are the consequences? What are the unintended consequences? With this move, what could happen and what do I feel like will happen? He's a strategist. Like him or love him or hate him, the guy understands how to deal. He understands how money works. He understands that you can't just tell a kid over and over again, if you don't quit that, I'm going to spank you, and then never spank them. It doesn't do any good. Time out in the corner, I guess some people feel like that's good. I didn't raise my kids like that. I wasn't raised like that. But I'm just saying, you can't just have idle threats. And that's why everything Trump says right now to the Iranians, they better take heed because he ain't joking around. And we do have a much higher sophisticated and just a better armed forces than Iran could ever think to have. So it's, like I said, it's very interesting. You can draw your own conclusions. I highly urge you to do your research, get your own opinion. I mean, I do have a radio mic and I'm able to share my opinion. I'm not saying I'm always right, and I'm not one of those guys that am going to be right by gosh no matter what. I mean, show me I'm wrong and I'm okay with it. You know, I'll listen to what you have to say. But when you look at what Iran's saying, and they're threatening the United States with $200 per barrel oil because they're going to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. I don't think they have the capability to do that. Yeah, they've lobbed a couple of missiles, and I think Trump figured they might, you know, and then what they did is going to continue to get, you know, he's going to rain hell down on them. So we need to continue to pray for our troops. I guess we lost some more that were in a KC-135 tanker jet that went down in the desert. 5 on board. I think 3 of those died. 2 were still alive, and they were conducting search and rescue operations for that. So it's dangerous business, even without boots on the ground. I mean, I believe that we do have air superiority in that region. I understood that this happened in an area behind the front line, and it was just a pilot error where 2 of these midair refueling ships, if you will, collided and one went down. So continue to pray for our men and women in arms because we are losing lives to this deal. Not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of lives, but any life lost is still a lot. I'm not discounting the fact. I'm just saying we need to continue to pray for our world leaders and our soldiers and support them. I do not ever want to see what happened to our soldiers happen like it did with the Vietnam veterans. I'm still trying to do everything within my power to right that wrong because how we treated those young men when they returned home from that conflict was just terrible, unconscionable. That being said, my lovely assistant has showed up here, and after taking several selfies, then we're going to get going. We got your weather forecast, energy news in my briefs, the stock market, and more as we continue with the mop-up segment of the Finally Friday edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show right after this.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
With spring right around the corner, now's the time to start thinking about your lawn care needs. Here at 5A Repair, we have what you're looking for from handhelds and mowers in the Red Max brand to our new line of Skag mowers. No matter the brand, all mowers come with great warranties and all warranty work is done here in-house. Come by and take a look at all the amazing products we have to offer. Or come catch us at the Southwest Farm Home Expo on April 11th and 12th. Here at 5A Repair, you will always get quality you can trust. Also remember us when your vehicle needs serviced or repaired. Our factory-trained mechanics will be happy to tell you what the problem is and then be happy to fix it. 5A Repair, 915 North Van Buren in Elk City, or see our ad in this week's Penny News.
Shawn Waters with Galleria Furniture. Right now, we've got 2 brand new Motion by Galleria pieces that deliver comfort and value you're going to love. That's right. Check out the Albert sofa priced at $6.99, featuring a gray fabric, manual recline, and drop-down table. And the Elva reversible sofa, just $9.99 with reversible chase to fit any space. These Motion by Galleria pieces are designed to give you smart features, flexible layouts, and price you deserve. And remember, we'll beat any competitor's price or it's yours for free. Located next to Tractor Supply in Elk City, where friends don't let friends pay retail.
They're expecting me to get whatever task done. To a farmer, a tractor, combine, gets them up and running. He's back in the field, makes some money. Guy in the oil field, their piece of equipment's running again. That makes some money. Solves that problem. I'm Brock Kalk, and my company is American Hose and Supply. We sell all types of industrial hose and fittings, oil field or agriculture. So if your farmer need a hose built, you can come in, we'll build it. You're a oilfield customer and need us to come out and see you, we'll come out and see you and take an order or pick up a hose, build it, bring it back to you. If we're competitive on price, we say we'll bring it to you. We'll do whatever it takes to get it to you, make life easier on you, or you can call us to solve a problem. Hey, can you get this? Why wouldn't you? American Hose and Supply, 2111 South Main, Elk City, Oklahoma, in Camrock Building next to Fred's.
Or call 303-1123. 303-1123.
Why wouldn't you?
Craving a real steak? Fred's Steakhouse in Elk City is firing up flavors 7 days a week. The grill is always hot and the steaks are always fresh. From juicy char-grilled ribeyes, fillets, and sirloins to chicken fried steak, hearty burgers, seafood, and chicken, there's something for everyone. Don't forget the appetizers, salads, and desserts to top it off. Bring your appetite. We'll handle the rest. Dine in or order online now on the DoorDash app. It's more than just a steakhouse. It's Fred's.
For garage doors, repairs, and more, call C&M Overhead Door at 580-515-1688.
Stay informed with the latest news from the energy industry on the Exploring Energy Show.
Alrighty then. Click a couple buttons here and get my lovely assistant in the middle of the camera. Get that fired up. And for those of you watching on the Facebook page, now it's prettied up. This show brought to you in part by Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources. They're part of the Oklahoma Energy Resources Board. They've been a monetary partner of our show and sponsor of our show for a long, long time, and I appreciate what they do. I appreciate what they do for my show, but I appreciate what they do for our industry, and that is continuing to educate not only people in our industry, but also high school kids through STEM programs and the OERB. They plug abandoned wells. This is a great organization, and they don't just sit back on their hands and get fat on the money. They do not. They turn back around and put it back into the industry, which is exactly what they were intended to do, what they continue to do. Next one coming up is SPCC training, June the 11th. Managing spills and staying compliant with regulations can often be time-consuming. These will teach you how to develop, implement, and maintain an effective oil spill prevention, control, and countermeasure plan. Keep you in compliance. SPCC training. Air regulations training coming up at the end of June, June 25th. Those are both at 11 a.m. and they're in person. If you want to find out more or to register before the close of business day before, you can go to www.soer.oerb.com. That's SOER, Sustaining Oklahoma's Energy Resources, SOER.oerb.com. You can look them up on the interweb too. Camrock Supply. I love that story Ronnie Red talks about. Hey, this guy was like, I've been hearing the ads, and man, that sounds good, but I'm just not sure about it. Well, he finally makes the call. And boy, was he surprised. They came out and delivered and set up a drum of antifreeze, a tote of hydraulic oil, a tote of motor oil. Farmer said, if I'd have known it'd been this easy, I'd have done this a long time ago. Camrock Supply. They'll bring it out to you. They'll check your supply of oil. They'll set it up to where all you got to do is turn on a spigot and it comes out. That's what they'll do for you and save you money. Their oil is the same specifications, same chemical makeup. Lubricate's just the same, but it costs a lot less. There's the big difference. Camrock Supply on South Main Street in Elk City next to Fred's Steakhouse, online camrocksupply.com. And my good friend David Allen Guest. He is a guy that people turn to when they have questions about managing mineral and royalties. He's been doing it for over 40 years. This guy is smart. He is amiable, very easy to talk to. He listens to what you have to say, and then he will give you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. That's the great thing I love about David. He'll tell you like it is. And you can trust him to do that, and you can trust him to get you the most out of your royalties. That's it. He is an investment, not an expense. David Allen Guest, and if you find yourself in that situation where you got to sell, you got to liquidate, well, David's a buyer of royalties from estates, probates, trusts, and bankruptcies. That can be a nightmare unless you know what's going on. And he's a guy that can help you through the process and not take advantage of you. That's the kind of guy you want to do business with. David Allen Guest. Call him today, 405-341-8698. 405-341-8698. Again, I just wanted to say a personal thank you to Charlie Burris down there in Chickasha. He was the one who introduced me to David Allen Guest those many years ago. He's also a great guy. If your power goes out at midnight, Carter Electric. Call Carter Electric. They provide 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency electrical service. Want to make sure your power stays on regardless of the weather? Well, Carter Electric is an authorized Generac generator dealer. Sizing a generator is very important. The most important is getting it installed correctly and then servicing it after you get it installed. They can do all that for you. Kervin and Mary Orgain, they're the owners. They help you see the light of day even at night. They own Carter Electric, and they understand a lot of work goes on overhead. Those house knobs, different things like that. Carter Electric has pole trucks, man lifts to get way up high if there's a problem up there. Licensed, insured, trusted. It's Carter Electric. Call them at 225-2447, 225-2447. Providing you this hour's weather forecast, the service of Carter Electric. What do you got over there, TJ?
Today we're going to be sunny with a high near 75, north wind 6 to 14 miles per hour, becoming east in the afternoon. Winds could gust as high as 21. Tonight, clear with a low around 41, east-southeast wind 5 to 9 miles per hour, becoming south-southwest after midnight. Saturday, sunny with a high near 81, light and variable wind, becoming south 6 to 11 miles per hour in the morning. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 52, south wind 10 to 14 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Sunday, batten down the hatches because it's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 65, but very windy with a west wind 13 to 23 miles per hour, becoming
Northwest, 29 to 39 miles per hour, and winds could gust as high as 60. Monday.
That's blustery.
Right? It's going to be awful. Monday, though, we're mostly sunny with a high near 53. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 72. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 86. And Thursday, sunny with a high near 93. Yay!
Yay.
Can we skip Sunday and go straight to Wednesday and Thursday?
I'm a fat kid. That old 90 to 100, it wears me out. Here's some energy news in my briefs. Climate advocates file a lawsuit accusing New Mexico energy regulators of endangering residents' health by failing to address thousands of unplugged inactive oil and gas wells and related sites. U.S. Justice Department legal opinion finds the Trump administration could invoke the Defense Production Act to overrule California's regulators and restart Saybill Offshore's proposed drilling project off the state's coast. The United States Department of Energy, the DOE, Office of Electricity, the OE, announced that approximately $1.9 billion funding opportunity to accelerate the urgently needed upgrades to the nation's power grid. These investments will meet rising electricity demand and resource adequacy needs while lowering electricity costs for American households and businesses. Projects selected through the Speed to Power through accelerated reconductoring and other key advanced transmission technology upgrades. That acronym is SPARK. Boy, somebody came up with that one really good. Funding opportunity will deliver fast and durable upgrades to the grid with real results. Energy stock prices. Tell me you got me some good news over there.
I mean, there's more green than there is red.
Well, that's good. That's better than all red, right?
Right, exactly. American Electric Power is up $1.16 at $133.35. Apache is up 51 cents, trading at $34.13. Baker Hughes is down 7.5 cents, trading at $55.83. ConocoPhillips is up 71 cents at $120.97. Devon Energy is down 10 cents, trading at $45.84. EOG Resources is up 64 cents at $133.68. Expand Energy is up $1.49, trading at $109.33. General Electric is down $2.14 at $304.60. Halliburton is down 43 cents at $34.41. Helmerich & Payne is up 69 cents at $34.55. Liberty Energy is down 13 cents, trading at $30.18. Occidental Petroleum is down 82 cents, trading at $57.61. OG&E Energy is up 52 cents at $48.40. One Oak is up 84 cents at $85.78. Phillips 66 is up $1.42 at $175.55. Sandridge Energy is down 21 cents at $16.54. Schlumberger is down 17 cents at $44.37. And Williams Companies is up 14 cents, trading at $73.67.
Some of your energy stock prices, again, West Texas Intermediate is trading at $93.94 a barrel. March contract there. Brent crude oil on the ICE Futures Exchange right now currently trading down 94 cents to $99.45 a barrel. Tocom crude oil in Tokyo is still up 10,990 yen per kiloliter. New York Mercantile Exchange natural gas down 8 cents, trading at $3.15 per million BTU. Be back Monday with another edition of the Exploring Energy Radio Show. Again, I would just like to say congratulations to all those Paragon TV member schools that made it to the state tournament. And we had 6 of our teams make it to the state tournament.
That's awesome.
One of our teams won it, the Canute Trojanettes.
Yes.
Mike Maddox was proud. He didn't stomp and yell but one time, I think, through the whole deal. Love that guy. Anyway, congratulations to Taylor on that. That win. She's young in her career, and she's already hoisting that gold ball in the hollowed halls of Canute's America. Yes, it is awesome. They played very well. But again, all our broadcasters, all the sponsors, Western Oklahoma that helped make all that happen, we are totally grateful for. Spring Sports is here. Spring Sports is here. And go out there and support your spring sports team. All these little teams around here, if it's got a bat and a ball, they're good at it. or a club and a ball.
Right.
For all of our great sponsors, my lovely assistant, TJ, I'm Shawn Wilson. Thanks. I promise we'll talk again. Have yourself a great day.
Friday night at the dance. That's what country sounds like. Thanks for making us number one. 96.5 KECO, Elk City.
Fox News, I'm Therese Crowley. They're confused, and we know it. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth calls Iran increasingly desperate.
We know the